Greetings from the Ierikos. This is Mad Shad. This is a reading from Halvamal, Ođin's words, Ođin's wisdom, also considered the All-Father. So I'm going to try to, as best as I can, not to butcher this. So please bear with me. First one comes from verse 22 of the Halvamal. These are pretty good words of wisdom that predate a lot of predate the Christian influence, if you will, onto the Norse community. So here we go. Halvamal, verse 22. Vessel maður och illa skapi håller att hivivetna. Sorry, I fucked up. Hitki han vet han vita thefti att han att vama vaner. A stupid man and an undisciplined one laughs at everything. He hasn't learned a lesson that would do him good. He himself isn't flawless. The other one of my favorites here, comes from Halvamal 133. Apt vitu Ogorla thier sitja ina fierir hivir thier ru kains koma at mother sva goder at galine felgi ni sva ilger at imugi dugi. Those inside the house rarely know anything about the stranger who knocks at the door. But there is no man so good that he has no flaw, nor a man so bad he's good for nothing. Encouraging words, huh? You know, just when you think you're a useless piece of crap, you know, you're not so bad that you're good for nothing. I know I butchered those. Some of these. It's and this is Old Norse, so it's hard to kind of get in that mindset, kind of. But Halvamal goes on and on and on. So many other stories. Happy Father's Day. Again, this is another Father's Day video. All-Father. And this is a reflection on Ođin himself. Ođin Rodanas, as he's known in Elder Futhark. Rodanas. And then Tiawas. Tiawas was the god Tyr, who was in charge of the Asir, before Ođin came over and said, I'm taking over. Which they kind of said, okay, sure thing. So, here's my reflection on Ođin being All-Father. My last video was about my Father's Day and everything. And the story is that he is called All-Father because him, Ođin, Honir, and Loder were walking down a river, and they happened upon two pieces of driftwood that may or may not have been animated. like walking around. They were called fateless somethings. Apparently, things kind of, I don't know, in the first days of the creation, things just kind of did what they wanted to, I guess. But the two pieces of driftwood were called asker and imbla. Asker being ash, imbla being elm, an elm tree. So you had an ash tree and an elm tree. Now, mind you, this predates the whole Christianity influence, if you will. And we all know that Adam and Eve came about through Christianity in the Old Testament, and we know that their names were not Adam and Eve. That's the anglicized versions of it. So by the time that the book was written, the Bible was written from Hebrew to Greek, okay, and then from Greek into everything else that you see. Old Testament, New Testament, the Revised Edition New Testament, the King's Version, all that came from the Greek, which came from the Torah, yeah. But things kind of changed a little bit, if you know what I mean. So Asker and Imbla were kind of, that's Adam and Eve. That's the Adam and Eve creation. There's a lot of similarities there, isn't there? But nothing is spelled out for us, is it? So anyway, just kind of going off left field there, whatever, right field, whatever. So Oðin, Honir, and Lodir, Honir and Lodir, you never hear about them ever again. In all the stories, don't know who they were. There's speculation, but that's all we have. They came across these two pieces of driftwood, and I gotta sneeze. Ooh, yeah. So, and from them came the first humans. So therefore, Oðin is considered all-father to all humans. Also, him and his brothers, Vili and Ve, killed their great-grandfather, Ymir, and made everything from his flesh. Ymir, or Umir, Y-M-I-R. Very popular name in Russia, isn't it? Yeah, let's see how that works. That's how it came about. So he's the All-Father of the 9 realms, or this realm, and yeah, the 9. Well, actually, 8, 7, 8. So 6 realms. There was 3 before that. There was the Muspel, and Niflheim, and the Ganunagap. So yeah, but he is even though he is 7, he's like 7 away from the first creations. 8 actually, if you count Ymir. He's still considered the All-Father. But his story, Odin's story, is one of. It appears that for the longest, in the beginning, he's a young god. I'd say young. I don't know how young is, but and he just kind of roamed around, doing things, getting into little things here and there. It's not till he became an Asir, and the Asir went to war with the Vanir, that he became the patriarch of the Asir. And after the war with the Vanir, there was a truce that was called, and there was a merging. So Freya, his wife, Friday, Odin, Wednesday, comes from Woden, from the Germanized, anglicized version of Odin. So you see there's a progression. But he took a wife from the Vanir, Freya, Frigg. Her name is Freya, and so together they started, creating. They had Thor, their son. They had some other sons too. Odin still kind of feeling himself, and he, feeling his wild oats, and he was known to go forth and propagate, to spread his seed and to give birth. So, because he could change himself into anything. But that was later on. He went on. It was after it was prophesized that, oh yeah, remember that big wolf, Fenrir? Yeah, that thing. Well, it's going to kill you and destroy everything, all the 9 realms. Oh damn! So he went on a wisdom quest to find wisdom. That's where he lost his eye. He gave up his eye to drink from the well. Udar Brunner, and the 3 Norns, Udar, Vadardi, and Skuld. They're the three Nords that basically, make everybody's destiny. Over there by the Yggdrasil tree, which connects all the 9 realms. So, and of course the Bifrost, it's a rainbow bridge that spans between Midgard and Asgard. The human enclosure and the god enclosure. So Odin made all this, and he goes on his little wisdom quest. He gives up his eye. He drinks from the well of wisdom, the well of poetry. It's kind of it means basically the same thing. There's a lot of wisdom in poetry. That's why you see a lot of Old Norse poems. It was a different kind of way of conveying message, because you would speak in meter, and it was like, oh yeah, I love that tale, and that's how you would learn song and poetry. So, and while you're going off to war, sing a little ditty. All warriors do that. Singing cadence. But Odin goes on this quest for knowledge, and gives up his eye and drinks from the well, and he actually takes the head. Later on, he takes the head of the guy that he was guarding the well, so that he could ask him questions later. Hey, I got a question for you. So yeah. And then, of course, he sacrifices himself to himself on the branches of the Yggdrasil. He went through a lot of shit to get after he sacrificed himself to himself on the Yggdrasil tree. This is a god that cannot die, but he got close to death, I guess. And the runes, he got the runes that way, and that way he could do stuff. Do magical stuff, rune magic and all that. So later on, he devises this elaborate plan for the end times, for Ragnarok, and all by design, all by his design. He's like, okay, all right. So this, we've got the goddess Hel, and Loki, and Fenrir. Fenrir, the large wolf, is actually the son of Loki. Loki being a son of. It says that Loki was the son of a giant and of a Vanir? No, Asia. Yeah. So he's half Jotunheim, frost giants, and he's also his mom was a Asir, so he's half and half. But so Odin is faced with this destruction of everything that he's created and helped create. And so what does he do? He devises this plan with his wife Freya, that he's going to set up Valhalla. Valhalla is a romanticized version of Valhall. The actual term is Valhall, Warrior's Hall. So everyone that dies in battle, or is that sacrificed to Odin, you would sacrifice the strongest, the bravest animals and people, warriors, to Odin by hanging them. He was also known as the hanging god. So people would, kings and all that, and you could also sacrifice yourself. Kind of like the version of the Japanese seppuku, except for that they didn't do it in shame. They did it in like a great honor. I'm giving myself to Odin. And when warriors would meet, when the Norse warriors would meet, and they would in battle, one side would proclaim that they are going to sacrifice their enemy to Odin because they are brave enough to face. You're brave enough to face me, so I'm going to sacrifice you to Odin. New gift ek thik Odini. Now I give you to Odin. And then of course another saying. These are like battle cries. And one of my favorite is Odin Oyadir Allah. Odin owns you all. So that one was said a lot into before battle, basically saying, "Hey, Odin owns you all. Get ready to go to Valhall." Giving you an opportunity to meet your destiny, and that was a great honor, is to die in battle courageously. So this was set up by Odin so that he could get the best warriors, the best generals, the best kings for his army, for Ragnarok, the end of times, the end of the gods, the end of everything. So he knew that this was coming, and he set this all up. And talk about a massive sacrifice. I mean, he could have just, we're just gonna chill and hang out, and he built Asgard, and he did it by hook or by crook. He tricked a massive giant and his massive steed into building the Asgard enclosure. He tricked them, but he did a lot of other things. He procured the golden apples. He got weapons for everyone and himself. Gungnir and Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, Tyr's sword and some other stuff. But also, he also got the unbreakable thread, silver thread, that Fenrir is tied up to. He's tied to the boulder of a mountain, and this wolf just continues to get bigger and stronger. It knows no bounds. So, and they tricked him. They tricked the wolf. They tried to make friends with the wolf, but the longer the wolf was alive, the bigger and stronger it got, and they tried to kill him, and that pissed off the wolf. And the wolf's got this. You think about it. You're chained to a rock, and the wolf is very sentient. By the way, they've had he bit off Tyr's hand. And actually, Odin's son kills the wolf in Ragnarok, after killing Odin, of course, by having a sword getting stuck in the mouth, the jaws of Fenrir, and stabbing him when he tries to bite. So, and this wolf, they said that its jaws go from the ground to the sky, and it's an all-consuming kind of thing. And the more he eats, the bigger he gets, and the stronger he gets. Crazy, huh? Whole time, Loki has been imprisoned by Odin on a tree. He's tied to a tree where a serpent drops acid onto his head, and his wife is sitting there catching the poison and pouring it out. And well, when she runs away to pour the poison out, the poison drops on Loki's head, and he writhes in pain, and that's supposedly where earthquakes come from. But he breaks free. Fenrir breaks free, goes to the goddess Hel, who has the undead army of everyone else that has died, and she also has Balder, the beloved son that Loki killed, and that's why Loki had killed with a mistletoe. So you see all this stuff that Odin had to go through, and he just, oh man, all this shit. And he's making a great sacrifice, him and Freya. And he's gathering an army. He's got two ravens, Hunan and Munin, Memory and Thought. And he fears that Memory will never come back. A little play on the whole getting old thing. But he set up Valhall so that all the greatest warriors that died in battle could come to him. Half goes to Freya. I don't know how that works, but she's got a hall too, Freya Hall. Maybe that's for the women. I don't know. It's not talked about. Just makes sense. There's some courageous women out there. Warriors don't really know genders, so a majority of them are men, but I've met some badass women too. We all have, right? So that's my speculation on that. That Freya Hall, Frey Hall. I don't know. There's not even a name for it. But we know that Valhall, set up by Odin, and that's where you go and you continuously train. Like throughout the day, you have these massive battles and wars. You kill each other, and at nightfall you reanimate, and you go into the Valhall, into the great meat hall, and you eat and you feast and you drink and you talk about what happened. Hey, I stabbed you. Talk about a training. Well, the most the best training facility in the whole creation. Let's go to war. Let's go to battle. Try to kill each other, and then talk about it later. And so and it's said that Odin sits on his throne and he drinks wine constantly. So he's just sitting back, waiting. And from time to time he walks around, and he's known as the old man, the wizard, Merlin, is accounted, accredited with being him, the old man that comes around with his walking stick in one eye, and dressed in, gray, and what the gray man, gray beard, all that. So Ođin is tasked, has taken up the mantle of trying to get ready for this massive, great calamity that's going to befall all of creation. But he has set it up that, okay, he's made his own prophecy. So he has access to the Nords, who know the destiny of all things. And through his actions, which seem very, very harsh and very, very, they are harsh and very, very, my brain. He wants it all, and selfish, very, very selfish God. Yes, he is, and very selfish. That through these actions, through these deeds, that harsh actions and deeds, that he is setting up this new life, new world. At least there's hope, because it's, he's faced with his own death and the death of most of everyone. His sons, Thor dies, and everybody dies, and he knows this. He knows the fate, and so he makes his own destiny and prophesies that, through my actions of everything I've been doing and weaving this web and preparing, that one of my sons will kill the most destructive being in the universe, and life will continue. So that's, even though he knows that he will be sacrificed, he's going to die. The All-Father will die. So, and all his family and friends and everything that he's made, and all, that's a hell of a weight to carry. So yeah, he's drinking wine, watching everybody else die, building up this army of courageous and brave warriors. But that's his thing. The All-Father. And one could say that's a hell of a thing, I'm going to build the massive, greatest army in the world so that we can all die and rebuild and have hope. And then, of course, it says that the cycle will probably carry on. This whole fight against good and evil, and him having to do a lot of bad things, a lot of questionable things, questionable moral things, to get the job done. So that has a lot to do with it as well. Where do you draw the line? But hey, if you're a mostly all-powerful being, and but there's still challenges that he has to overcome. Meaning that there is still, it's you look at the other side, the armies of hell, Hel. Oh my God! Wow. The comic books and the movies don't even touch how powerful this army is. It's all consuming and destroying and everything. It's just, there's no escape from it. And that's what it says, is all 9 realms will be obliterated. Everything will die. Everything will be consumed. The All-Father Ođin, knowing that throughout his existence that, this is going to happen, and he does it anyway. Keeping to the plan, keeping to the, keeping the discipline, regardless of what happens. Sacrificing an eyeball, and even sacrificing other gods and people, to get the job done, But I just wanted to do that, read some stuff, and that's what Havamal was, is the wisdom given, words for good living, basically. And there's some other wisdoms in there about, early to bed, early to rise, and hospitality is very important, so rules for good living, hospitality was very important. You came and you if you wanted to meet your neighbors, or you were traveling or whatever, it was customary for them to bring you in, sit you down, allow yourself to wash, give you something to drink, something to eat, and listen to you talk, and then give you a place to sleep or whatever. It was law, actually. And then also the person that was visiting also had to be very wary and cautious, and sit with his back against the wall, and have his sword ready, and be courteous, and try not to offend your host, because your host could strike you down if you tried to do some stupid shit. So it was an uneasy kind of welcome. Please come in, have a seat. Have some drink, have some food. Here's a bowl, wash yourself. Mind yourself. So that helped. That helped with the whole craziness of everybody running around, just killing and fucking everything, and whatever. And these are words of Ođin, from his voice to our ears. There is a lot of wisdom there. A lot of wisdom. It talks about at the time, which I found very, very interesting, is that it was customary that when you're traveling, you go somewhere, that you bind your sword. You took your sword and you tied it so that it wouldn't fall out. If you're climbing a mountain or something, you would tie it and bind it so it wouldn't fall out. It says that it's when you go to somebody's house, that you unbind your sword, or when you talk to somebody, that make sure that your sword is unbound. There's stories of fights happening where they knew that the traveler had their sword bound, and they couldn't pull it out. Like, oh shit, fuck, you got to untie this knot, whatever. But so it's take the safety off, if you will. Make sure a round is loaded in the chamber. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of readiness, that state of readiness, being ready and at the ready, because that there is a possibility that danger is imminent, that your threat level should be raised, and you should have your sword at the ready, spear, bow and arrow, that kind of thing. So a lot of wisdom there, and that's what the Havamal gives to us. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a little All-Father, little Norse take on everything, and how I look at it. Ođin is always depicted as the selfish god, but it's for everything. Like, it's for everything. He's making the sacrifices for everything, not everyone, everything. Creation as we know it, life as we know it. He's making that sacrifice and sacrificing and doing the hard things so that he can persevere at the end, even though he knows he's going to die. So that's a father. Harsh. Faced with that harsh reality, what would you do? Like, oh man, everything I know and love is going to die, is going to be destroyed. Everything. Okay. So I think there's that conviction. That's a that's a hell of a thing. And that's a hell of a gift to give someone, to give everyone. Kind of like Jesus dying on the cross for our sins, sacrificing himself, but he comes back. Ođin doesn't come back. He's dead. He's done. He's wolf. He's wolf bait. He's wolf food. So, and a lot of religions speak of that as well. But there's some other like the Hindu religion. There's a lot of sacrificing going on. There is death. I mean, there is death to the gods. Christianity, you don't see that. I mean, because you just got your Father, your Son, and your Holy Spirit, and the angels and the devil. That's why I like Supernatural, the show Supernatural, so much. It was they took all that together and put it together, and like, oh, okay. So it was like, these guys could not die, but they could be circumvented and overcome somehow. These guys, like, nothing ever ends in death. I remember that old guy, in Supernatural, Death. That was a great character. But this whole idea that nothing could be killed, only changed, and souls got sent to one place or another. Interesting concept, but I think the idea that everything is everything and everything changes, that holds true. But there has to be some type of. Anyway, I'm just speculating here, going crazy here, ranting and raving. Let me get this out. What's that? Let's dive into it more. So, just some things to think about. That the greatest sacrifice that you can give is yourself, your life, and giving your life for something greater than yourself, and not being selfish, but for the greater good. I think a lot of the fathers do that, man. A lot of the fathers work their fingers to their bones, break their backs, work the long hours to provide for their family, to put a roof over their head, to put food on the table, to assure that their safety and security, they have a great place to live, to learn, and to go forth and do the same. So that cycle needs to continue, and on this day of Father's Day, it's very important. Very important. Yes, Mother's Day, all that, sure, whatever. That's great. That's great. They have their role. Mothers have their role, but fathers, they have their role as well, and it's very, very important. Without the two, there's nothing. So that 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 father cycle, and you see that fathers, males don't last as long as females. Females are expected to live longer, to take care of the kids, to even into their adulthood, and of course the kids of but fathers work themselves to death, bigger, stronger, tougher, and burn out and die. And hopefully what they built can stand the test of time for everybody else. So we literally, I say we, I'm not a father, not that I know of, but fathers literally give their lives for the greater good and sacrifice themselves. So on this day of Father's Day, really be grateful, that gratitude, and that's what a father wants, man. That's what a father wants. He wants that future for his family, for his lineage to carry on, and that's very, very important. And just like Ođin, he wants that lineage to carry on, in which it does, through his sons and his daughters, so that they can go forth into the future and conquer and rebuild and carry on. Life will find a way, but it's only through true sacrifice and conviction and discipline and getting the shit done. So let me stop, man. This thing's going on forever. So this is Mad Chad. Encourage you all to continue to train, continue to prep, and to really dive deeply into Father's Day. Because we all know, it's a mad, mad world.